Awesome. Thank you very much, David. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. My name is Randy Lindsey with MT4 Professional. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about using a Forex market scanner, looking for setups, looking for entries, especially long-term ones, require a sophisticated suite of tools that help you to spot the right opportunities at the right time. And a market scanner is ideal for that, especially if you're a Forex trader. Let's get into our presentation. So I'll make sure everyone knows that we are here for educational purposes only. MT4 Professional, Resilient Traders is not registered advisory service, so we cannot give you specific trade advice, but what we can do is educate and train you on the proper use of our platform, of the scanner, and how to set it up to develop a trading plan that is both consistently profitable and successful. Trading with futures, stocks, Forex, options, cryptocurrency has a large potential for reward, and you can make a lot of money, but they also have a large potential for risk, and you can lose a lot of money. So you need to be aware of the risks involved and be willing to accept them in order to trade or invest in any of these markets. Past performance is not indicative of future results. You can lose more money than you invest. So make sure you get advice from a competent financial advisor before you start trading or investing in any of these markets. And never, ever, ever trade in a live account until you have first proven that you can consistently and profitably trade in a simulated account. And only then will you be able to start tackling the mind game. Again, I'm Randy Lindsey. I'm your trade coach today, operations director at MT4 Professional. Joining me is Claudio Cardinale in the background. He's our product development director. He's also our technology guru. So if there are any issues or things that come up, then he's always going to be there to make sure things are taken care of. Let me pull this up here. I don't think I had the questions panel up in case any questions came. I guess it's not up. Okay, so we'll continue on then. So today we're going to be talking about Forex market scanner. What is a market scanner? What is MT4 Professional? What does it all have to do with? And then we're going to go into a live demonstration of MT4 Professional. And of course, because you're part of the webinar today, I'll make you a very special offer if you're interested in being involved in our user community. So using a Forex market scanner, looking at popular strategies, you're scanning for those. There are many different ones to look for. Here are a few of the more popular ones, EMA and price. It's a strategy that uses pure price action relative to an exponential moving average. You've also got your MACD and signal. MACD and signal is an oscillator which looks at convergence, divergence relative to a signal line. So it looks for great entry and exit signals based upon the time frame that you're trading. Another very popular one, especially if you're a guppies or turtle traders, are moving averages. Moving average crossovers are one of the more used strategies in the industry, where you're using 1, 2, even 3 type strategies, even alligator strategies, where you're looking at trends and longer term movements, specifically with fast and slow crossovers. Then there's the strategies that get a little bit more complicated or involved, which are using multiple price action strategies, EMA and price, MACD and signals, relative strength, if you're looking for overbought and oversold conditions, or trends of strength or weakness. So MT4 Professional Scanner, and any scanner for that matter, should be able to scan in real time any or all of these strategies, plus others, especially the ones specific to you, the ones that you've developed yourself. And they should alert you when the conditions are met and ripe for a trade entry. So what is the scanner then? Well, if you really think about all the symbols and the timeframes that we have on the MT4 platform, or whatever platform that you're looking at least on MT4, there are 50 Forex pairs, 20 CFDs, 9 different timeframes. That's more than 630 different combinations to be looking at. Well, do you really think that you're capable of going through all of those setups to look for trade opportunities? Chances are really good that you can't do that. And chances are really good that you're missing a lot of opportunities. So today, if you're trading on different instruments, it's a requirement, because it's diversification. In order to be profitable, you need to have a wide range of choices to look for, because trading one instrument, it goes through dead periods, and then it goes through active periods, and then it goes through dead periods. So you want to always be where the action is. There's always something trending in the market, and you need something out there that can find that. So the perfect solution for that is the market scanner. Market scanner is an automatic tool that allows you to scan the entire market situation at a glance, looking at the symbols, the time frames, your rules, the indicators that you want, and alert you whenever the conditions are right for a trade. So an example I've shown on the screen here is maybe a list of symbols, whatever symbol that you're interested in trading. I'm showing Forex, but it can be done on any symbol and any time frame. I chose a couple of time frames here, but these can be applied to any time frame. Specifically, it's specifically effective on longer time frames, which are greater than 1 hour or even up to a daily, weekly, and monthly time frames. The example is looking at a moving average crossover, two simple moving averages. A bullish cross, which I denote as green, is when the fast moving average crosses over or on top of the slow. The bearish cross would be when the fast moving average crosses under the slow, and I will denote it as red. So by looking at the spreadsheet over on the right, for every symbol and for every time frame, I have a green or red cell that identifies to me a bullish or a bearish setup. If I had a scanner that could do this for me in real time, that was out there looking for all of these symbols to find this type of a setup, I think that would be extremely valuable, don't you? Well, how does it really work? So if a market scanner does this, you want to focus on the trades that are set up. So instead of looking for a trade, you can spend your time on more important things like managing your trade or getting your mindset in the proper setup. Maybe hydrating yourself and getting some food and thinking about other things rather than always looking for the next setup. Once set up, the market scanner should be able to search for any of these conditions, matching your rules, your own strategy. If it's a moving average crossover, an EMA and price, MACD crossover, whatever it might be. And then once the trade is set up and meets your criteria, then it will alert you to that fact and let you know the time is ripe now for a trade. The example I'm showing right here on the right is another one that shows the EMA and price strategy. It's a pure price action strategy relative to an EMA, where you're looking for a green sell whenever price is greater than your EMA and a red sell whenever price is less than the EMA. That's the idea behind this. So again, I've used some arbitrary time frames, but this is just an example to show you the concept. For any symbol and for any time frame, I want to see whether it's bullish trend or a bearish trend. Whenever I see an alignment or a switchover, like for example, I see red, red, green on the oil contract, that tells me that there is a change in longer term direction potentially. Whenever I see the shorter time frame like this, where the mid time frame is red and the others are green, I know the longer time frame is green. The shorter time frame has gone green, which means high probability that the mid time frame is going to be going green soon. That's a great trade setup. This Bitcoin, you can see, went green while the longer term is red. This could just be a short-term correction. So if this goes back to red, that's an awesome opportunity to get back in and to ride the longer term wave. If you see the second time frame go green, that tells you there's a chance that there might be a true reversal coming in. And then if you see it go right into a three-way green line, that means it's a full reversal is in play, and it's an awesome long-term play. That's the idea behind the scanner. Now, what about time frames? Here you saw I used more than one time frame looking at that. Well, did you know that if you trade with multiple time frames, you have a higher probability of a profitable trade? Let's do the correlation. It's just one of the advantages of using multiple time frame analysis. So let's look at the time frames over here on the right. You can see the 4-hour time frame is on the top. You can see it's got much longer periods of trend. The 1 hour just below it is chopping that 4-hour trend up into multiple up and down moves. You can see the 15-minute just looks like a big noisy scribble, right? Well, that's because if you look into it, you can see a bunch of up and down and up and down and up and down moves. Well, if you were trading a 15-minute chart, but you were trading in line or in harmony with the longer term trend, you have a higher probability that your trade will end in profit, and you're going to have lower risk because you're trading with the direction of the longer trend. You're going to be taking the long trades. You're not going to be taking the corrections. And if you do take the corrections, you know you're going to keep your profit targets very close and short. So you're going to be in and out. But the longer ones, you're going to let run. That's right. Or if you do have a pullback against you in a trade, you're going to have a higher probability to hold it because you know you're still in line with the longer term trend. Once the longer term trend starts to correct, then you know that the corrections are now in vogue and not the longer term. So if you had a market scanner then that could search for your setups based on your rules, identify those things, and then verify them using multiple time frame analysis. Again, that would be an extremely valuable tool. So let's look at one more example. Here is a 4-hour chart, a daily and a weekly. We're looking for specific trade setups using a EMA and price strategy coupled with a MACD and signal line crossover and relative strength to determine relative momentum on the position. So the blue lines show at this point right here that I've got a crossover of price on the 15-period exponential moving average. That's criteria 1. Criteria 2, I need to see a white histogram cross of the red signal line. That's check number 2. Check number 3, I need to see that I have a bullish trend on my relative strength. Not only am I crossing out of the oversold range, but I'm also trending with rising strength. So that gave me a 1, 2, 3, all criteria ready to go long. But I need to check with my longer term trend to see if the conditions are ripe for that to be a good trade. Because I can have a lot of these conditions aligned, but then it always ends up going into a sideways choppy market. I don't want that. I want it when I'm aligned and ready to go so I can capture the trade. So second time frame, I am looking to see if my relative strength is going positive, and I need to see that I have a MACD crossover. That's good. Check, check. My third time frame, which is the weekly, all I need to really be looking for is a relative strength greater than 30 and trending with strength. And I've got that right there. So 3 checks and I'm ready to go. So this trade ended up with over 300 pips of profit because I was properly positioned and alerted at the right time that the trade was in my favor. So that's the idea behind a strategy that uses multiple time frames. So by taking trades in harmony with the longer time frame, you will get a lower risk trade opportunity and a higher probability of a successful outcome. This is a powerful combination for any trader because it shows the importance of using multiple time frames in your trading. And a market scanner that uses multiple time frame analysis is an extremely valuable and profitable tool because it does this for you automatically. What's the problem that we ran into? Well, on searching for MT4, we did not find any scanners out there that met our criteria. They were either too complex to configure, which meant you had to be a programmer to use it. They were unstable, or maybe even a single tool that just didn't work with the system. They were incompatible with a lot of the indicators most people use, and there were a lot of other issues. So what did we do? Well, as professional traders, we decided to make our own. So we built MT4 Professional for our own personal trading, for our own daily trading lives. And it has now become the #1 market scanner on both MT4 and MT5. It is a scanner tool that allows you to instantly look for the entire market for setups that match your own criteria and rules. So when you find a good setup, it also allows you to enhance your technical analysis with multiple time frame analysis, which really is a difficult thing to do on MT4 and MT5. So it's already built in. So stay tuned. We're going to go right into a live demonstration and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, David, I can't see any questions on here, so I'm not sure if I'm getting questions or not. So let me know if there are any, and I would really appreciate it.
There's none yet, but
okay,
I only have the chat interface on, not the Q&A interface.
Yeah, okay. I've got the chat up, but it doesn't allow me to see the chat. I can only see for hosts or panelists. I can't see for the audience. So if there are questions, I can't really see it.
Oh, okay.
Now I can see
you'll be able to see everything.
Got it. Now I can see it now. Perfect.
Zoom keeps messing with the settings, so
that's okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm going to do is just set up. This is the MT4, and I've got my MT4 professional panel up right here. This is just standard MT4. I'm not using MT4 professional at the moment. I just wanted to show you some setups and some different interfaces with the platform to show you sometimes MT4 can be cumbersome, not really user-friendly. And I want to show you how professional, difference between MT4 and a professional platform is. So this is two different setups. I've got a window on the left and a window on the right, 30-minute and an hourly time frame setups. Notice that the windows are different sizes, and that when I go from a small screen to full screen, the windows do not change size. I have to manually change the size. So if I were to go up under window and try to resize them at all, then I would just mess everything up, because this window is smaller than this window. So they would make them equal size, equal length. And that's fine. Sometimes that works, but most of the time for me, it does not work. And so what I'm looking for, I'd have to physically drag these down to make it work. And then when I go back into minor screen, oops, I can't reach the bottoms of those. So now I have to go back again and scroll these back up. So do you see that's kind of, I don't know if you've ever run into that as a problem, but I run into it all the time, because I'm always trying to see something behind my screen, and it always runs into me. I think real estate is important, and it's really important to be able to make use of it. One click of a button, if you hit your F11 key, then you can go into full screen mode. If I were to be in the large screen, you can see that's a lot of real estate that I'm missing out on. So in order to get that squeezed in, I'm going to have to really move my charts around to get that squeezed in. Also, if I have to change the time frame or the symbol that I have on the list, I have to physically drag and drop the chart symbol over and set it up that way. So it's the only way that you can do it in MT4. If I have multiple windows, and let me pull up one that does, then you can see multiple windows set up, but I only have one way of changing the symbols, and that's by simply dragging and dropping to each one of these windows, or I have to physically type it in by hitting the enter key and then type in the symbol and then hitting enter like that, or change the time frame. So it's a little complicated, excuse me, but not unusable. And lastly, if I were to look at a specific setup, let me go back to, well, I'll just go ahead and use this one. If I were to look at a specific setup, you can see here that I've got a change in direction and a trend dot change. Then if I wanted to look at the higher timeframes to see if they were in alignment, then I have to middle click my mouse button to get my cursor key and look at the time frame down on the bottom to see if that's the correct time or not, 15:45. Then if I go over to the other window and do the same thing, then you can see right about there, but I lose context with the other window when I do this. Now I'm looking for something specific. And so you see it's not real easy to really do multiple time frame analysis. Otherwise, I'd have to just kind of sit back and look and gauge things just by using my rule of thumb or put a piece of paper up to the charts just to measure things. And it's not really accurate. So there's a lot of features that are there. So I want to take advantage of that. So let me pull up the MT4 Professional platform. First thing that you'll see is a blank screen. And then you'll also see a configuration setup. MT4 Professional is built on configurations. So once you have it all set up, one click and you're ready to go on everything. The EMA and price strategy, which we were looking at earlier, I'm going to go ahead and select it and load it. And what it does is it looks at multiple time frames, and it's looking at a strategy that's looking at the close of any price bar relative to a 15-period exponential moving average. So you can see at any point, you're looking to see if you're bullish or bearish on any market, whether you're looking at the pound, which one click, I can automatically go to the symbol using the exact same timeframes on all the charts. And you can see that as I move my cursor on a longer time frame window, that the crosshairs automatically go right to the location in time where I can see the best opportunity. I click on the screen once and it automatically locks itself into that location, allowing me to do analysis. Now I've got the right there. For this chart, I need to turn that off so that I can do that. There. Oh, it's still on for some reason. I don't know why. Why is that on? Right there. So I can see that the first crossover has been aligned with the second crossover, but not the third. So now I need to wait till I see a secondary alignment right there. That's the first time that I can look at getting a nice trade. So from that, I can see my entry would be right there. And then from that point, you can see that that was a potentially 50, 52 pip trade. Very, very nice setup. Very easy to see, and the alignment is clean. And so what this does is it shows you the alignment relative to time by the scanner window on the left. So let's look at the rules that cause these scanner windows to change color. So if you open up the configuration and click the edit button, then over on the right, you can set up your chart windows by clicking on this big chart layout. And it shows you the layouts as one large window and two small windows. Now this one I have set up as a 5-minute on EMA and price template. I can change that and load any template that I want. If you're using a template you specifically like, then you can use that just simply by opening it and selecting it here. Once you load it here, it'll appear on this drop-down menu, and then you can load it on your other open windows just by using the pull-down window. You don't have to load it in separately. And of course, you have access to all of the time frames that are available to you on your platform, right through a pull-down menu. So everything is easy, no programming is necessary, and you can change the position size of any of these windows. If you don't want 3 windows, you want 4 windows, and just simply click Add to add a window chart, click Tile to tile them, and then make sure that the new window that you set up is properly set up with the time and the template that you wanted. If you don't want those and you want to start over again, just click Clear All, add 3 chart windows, click Tile, and then you can see that it's set up any way that you like. So you can move those around to be configured any way that you like. And make sure you set the time frame. Excuse me. And the template that you want for the charts. I'll hit the cancel button because I don't want to change anything. Always make sure you hit the save button to make sure that all of your charts are set up. Now over on the left is the scanner panel. That's this right here. The symbol list can be defined here, and the actual rules for turning the cells a different color are defined here as well. So let's open this up. Here you can see the symbol list can be defined from any of the symbols that are available to you on your MT4 or MT5 platform. These are broker supplied symbols. So any symbol you see over here, you want to add over here, you select it, click the right arrow, and it automatically adds it to your list. You find out, oh, I didn't really want that anyways, just remove it. Once you're done, click OK. I'll hit cancel since I don't want to make any changes. And then once you've done with that, then click the save button. Again, if you go back to the scanner panel and click the scanner window, then that goes into the actual rules that define the colors. These are the rule sets. I call it a main color rule. You can call it anything that you want. But for each of the timeframes that you define, and of course you can define any time frame, and you get a plus sign, you can set up or define any time frame that you want. I have this color rule applied to those timeframes. That color rule can be turned on or off with the check mark, which means you can have more than one color rule, and you can edit each one of those. So by clicking on the edit button, I can see what the conditions are in order for my cells to be colored. So the first condition that is evaluated, I set the color to green. Of course, you can make any color that you like. I set it to green because to me, green is bullish. You might think blue is bullish. It doesn't matter. You can set blue, your choice. I say if comparing item A, which is the close in price, is greater than or equal to my operator, the 15-period exponential moving average, which is comparing item B. So you're always looking at comparing item A relative to comparing item B, right? So if this is greater than or equal to that, I want my cell to be green. If this is not true, the OR condition is met. It next evaluates this one. So you can set the color for it, look at comparing item A relative to B. If close of price is less than my 15 period, then make it red. Or there's no more condition. So it's either this or that. If neither of these are true, then the default color will be displayed on the charts. Well, since this is greater than or equal to or less than, that's 100% of any potential outcome. So it's going to be one or the other. So I'm only going to see red or green. Sometimes you will have a condition where neither are met, and you will be seeing some multiple colors on the output. I've called it main color rule. You can call it any name that you like to be definitive or useful in helping you to know what that strategy is. I can use or load any indicator or rule set in here. So right now I just have two. I'm using price and I'm using a exponential moving average. But if I wanted to use a different one, then click the plus sign. You choose an indicator, or if you want to look at a constant value, say you wanted to see if your relative strength was greater than 30, then you could put a constant value in here and check your relative strength indicator to that. In this case, let's choose an indicator. I want to set in a new moving average. So I'm going to go ahead and check a trend. And then I'm going to select my moving average indicator. Now, these are all standard indicators available to you on MT4 or MT5. If you have a custom indicator that you've written yourself, or if you have one that you've purchased from a third-party vendor, you can pick that from your computer by clicking the pick from computer, and you can use that tool also to do your checks. So I'll use that indicator. It'll allow me to set it up on that. So I already have a 15-period exponential. So what I want to do is I want to see if a 7-period simple close of price is one that's on. Or better yet, I'm going to take this, I'm going to make it a 50-period simple moving average. That's a little bit slower, and it's going to help me to see that. So I don't want to close out. So the close of price has to be greater than that. And I want to see that the 15-period exponential is greater than my 50-period simple moving average. So if that price is over this, and I can see that my moving average is greater than a 50 period. That's a much more definitive bullish move. And that's going to weed out a few potentially questionable trades. So this is a much more bullish setup. Contrary to that, if the close is less than the 15, and if my 15 is also less than my 50 period SMA, that would be a much more bearish condition. And since I used greater than and less than, there is a case where it's not going to be greater than, or it can be greater here, but not greater than this. So in that case, we can see some potential yellow output, because that tells you it's not quite set up, but it's getting ready, because that's what the neutral color is there for. So that's the whole idea behind it. So these are just a couple of quick examples. Say you don't really want to use that, then to get rid of it, just hit the little trash can icon, and it go ahead and delete, removes that from your strategy, and click OK to save it, and OK out of here to save this setup, because you're using it on any more time frames. If you wanted to add an additional time frame, just click the plus sign. You can see that it adds a placeholder there. You can set the time frame to be any time frame that you want to look for. You can set a color rule, which we only have one color rule set up for now, so you can apply that to that, and it's ready to go. So if you want to add one more time frame, it's available here as well. If you found out you didn't really need that because the scanner runs a lot faster the less time frames you evaluate, well, I'd go ahead and get rid of it then. Click the OK button, and make sure you click the save button to make sure everything is saved. Once it's saved, that little check mark will be there to let you know that it's done. Close the window, and always finish by clicking the load button. The load button will automatically recalculate and reload all of the things that you just changed and saved in it, and then it will load it back into the setups and the charts. Okay, it's just that easy. Any questions so far? All right, you can make it as complex or as simple as you like. These are very simple examples, although this is a very simple strategy. It's also a very profitable one. Let's look at one that's a little bit more complex. I've got one that's called my MACD. It's a much more complex strategy where I'm looking at a 4-hour, a daily, and a weekly setup. Now, these setups are much longer term in trend, but the idea behind this is you're looking for a crossover, like I said before, where the strategy is looking for the weekly chart trend and relative strength, and it's looking for the daily, looking for a crossover, and a trend strength. And let me show you how I set the scanner up to make that determination. By clicking in the select configuration, I select the My MACD and click Edit. I select the scanner panel and look at my scanner setup. I've got 3 different time frames that are being scanned. You can see here, and I have one strong signal rule and one weekly trend rule. So right now, the 4-hour is only used on the strong signal rule. So let's take a look and see what that is. Within the strong signal rule, only on the daily, the 4-hour, I'm looking for a MACD histogram. Now, there are 2 different MACDs instances loaded. I'm only looking at the base histogram indicator. That's the white histogram line. If it is less than my signal line, that's the red line that you see on the chart, the signal line there. So if I were to go over here and look at that, see, you've got the white histogram and the red signal line. This cross here is bullish. This cross here is bearish. And so that's what you want to be able to see. So a bearish cross is when the histogram is less than the signal. I also want to verify that at the same time, that price is less than my 15-period exponential moving average. And I want to make sure that I have a bearish trend on strength. So I'm looking to see that the relative strength 2 bars ago that means historically, is greater than the current relative strength. So if you look on the chart, then you see that if you're looking back in time, is this relative strength greater than the current relative strength here? If it is, then you know that it's going down, and that is a bearish setup. So that's the idea. You're looking at the slope of the line and identifying it well relative to a crossover and a bullish or bearish signal. If all three of these are true, then my color condition is red, and I get a red cell on my scanner. If none of these are true, then it goes and looks for these same conditions, the same exact same thing, except for in this case, I'm looking to see if the histogram is greater than my red signal line, if the close of price is greater than the 15-period exponential, and if my slope of my relative strength is bullish. That means that the price, the relative strength 2 bars ago is less than the current relative strength. In this case, if you were to look at the end of this right here, then you're looking to see if this relative strength 2 bars ago right here was less than the current relative strength. So you're looking for that slope. Okay, so that's my condition. You can see there's no other condition. So this is what I would say is a strong signal for either bullish or a bearish setup. I have this applied to my 4-hour. I also have it applied to my daily, so I can look at both strong signals relative to a 4-hour or daily chart. Now you see the weekly chart has a weekly trend signal set up on it. Well, let's take a look at it because it's not looking at the signal strength, only looking at the trend. It's asking to see if the close of the current price is greater than the 15-period exponential. That just means that you're in a bullish trend. If it's less than, then you're looking at a bearish trend. Very simple strategy, but it gives you real strong indication of whether you're bullish or bearish based upon the weekly trend. You want to be trading in direction of that. So that's what you want to be checking each time you look at that. Are there any questions so far? If you want to be notified, then all you have to do is check the real-time notifications box right here. It will automatically notify you via the system notifications panel, email, or if you input your cell phone, it will send you an SMS message as well whenever these conditions are ripe for a potential trade setup or entry. So you can see at any particular point in time, however the condition looks good for a crossover, a trend of strength that looks good. Then you check over on the second time frame to see crossover, no crossover, but you have relative strength. So this is not going to give you a bullish signal yet, but you can see that it will very shortly if I were to cross over from this point here. Okay. And here the trend is down still, and it won't be back up again until price raises right back over this. So you can change your criteria to look either at overall trend, and you know that anytime you get a very aggressive buy signal, you're always going to be in a downtrend. If you're in an aggressive sell signal, you're always going to be in an uptrend. Rarely will you get the opposite. So you always are conditioned for that. Any questions? Quiet audience here, boy. Scanners are invaluable tools because what they do is they allow you to set up your own criteria, your own rules. You don't have to use just standard indicators. You can use indicators that you've developed yourself, or you can use indicators that you've purchased from third-party vendors as well. So if you have a system that identifies trades via arrows that are plotted on the charts, then whenever that arrow is plotted on any chart or any time frame, then you can signal, your scanner can signal on the screen here whether that event has occurred or not. So if that were the case, then you can see here that on the dollar yen, you got a longer term signal on the daily in a longer term weekly trend, and you're waiting for your shorter time frame to signal, giving you the best opportunity to enter, and so forth and so on. So you can see by interpreting the scanner results, you can very quickly scan innumerable number of setup markets for your trade criteria to see if there's an opportunity ready for you right now. One other thing I want to show you is that when you select a configuration and you click the edit button, look in the right-hand corner of this, you see there's a share icon. This allows you to share this particular configuration that you have done with any other members of the MT4 professional community. Well, that's powerful because that means that all of you can be working in harmony with one another. And if you're working with set 3 or 4 different buddies trading, then you can all be on the same page at the same time. You can set up a configuration, you can test it, and then say, hey guys, I've got a great strategy I want to share with you. Click the share button, pull up their name on the list, and automatically share it with them right away. And then they will have it to use right then. It's a very sweet tool because everything is backed up and used in the cloud. You never have to worry about missing or losing any of your configurations. If your hard drive crashes, then all you have to do is buy a new one, get your MT4 platform reinstalled, then load MT4 Professional, and all of your configurations and all of your scanner settings will already be configured and ready to go for you. This configuration list will not go away because it's backed up in the cloud. Also, let me pull up my browser. I have a browser here. This is representative of your mobile phone or your tablet device or your laptop. Basically, you don't want to be tied to your computer all day long. You're in a trade, especially if you're in the longer term setup, your computer can continue running, but you don't have to be there. So all you have to do is just go to MT4 Professionals website, you log in to their members area. And on the launch and onboarding process page, you'll see that we walk you through the entire steps of getting set up and working and running. And if you need any assistance at all, then a button is one step away. A call from us or getting a configuration scheduled up. We give you exclusive access to our Skype group for questions, or we give you one-on-one installation help to help you get going if you need it. You get full access to both MT4 and MT5 versions of the software. These are the full versions of the software, so you get them right away. But the one thing I wanted to show you here before we move on is the real-time scanner. So if you were to click on the real-time scanner link in the members area, you pull up the scanner based upon the system that you're running, then if you have more than one scanner, if you have more than one computer, if you have more than one person using your account, you can have multiple accounts listed here. You can monitor those right here in real time. So you can see the scanner on my mobile device is displaying for me all of the information that I have on my desktop. All I have to do is click one time, say for instance, the $yen. I click it here and you'll see the $yen change on all of my desktops, and you'll see a photograph of the $yen automatically pop up on my mobile device. This shows me the setup is already setting there and ready to go. So I just pull up my broker on my mobile device, execute the trade right there. I don't have to go back to my office because I have instant access right here. This is perfect for longer term traders because you don't want to always be at your desk. You want to have a life. You want to be out on your boat. You want to be doing things other than sitting behind your desk. And this allows you the freedom to be able to do that. You still have to have the platform running in the background, but you have instant access to it on any of your mobile devices through the real-time mobile scanner. Any snapshots that you've taken of your symbols are also available to you here in this cloud. So by checking them out, you can see they can all be tagged with any specific tag that you have identified with. You can save them here. You can make them either global or private. And any of the global ones that you have created, you can share them anywhere that you want. We give you a link that's really easy to set up. You can put in any comments, and you can share them on all of your mobile devices or all of your social networks that you like. So any setup that you've got can be shared with anybody. And you give them a link. If this whole page is global, then you can share this entire page by getting the link that's here. You've already made it public. So anybody that you give this link to can now see all the snapshots that you've shared right there. So if you're very proud of your trades and you want to show them off, then you have the opportunity to do that. However, if you want to keep them all private, you can do that as well. If you get an alert right up here under the alert session is all the notifications that you would get from the system. If you're not at your desktop, then you will get a notification that the real-time scanner is giving you an opportunity, and you want to click on the link to see the setup and to see what it gives you. There's also an announcement session, so that if we have any updates to the software, we can push that out to you to let you know. All you have to do is go back into the members area, download the new software, and it will be ready to go. And in the upper right corner is a gear wheel. This is the settings. You can go into your settings menu area, and this gives you full access to change your billing information, your email address. You can even start or stop your subscription or add more subscriptions to your account through the settings area. And of course, you always have access to documentation and support. So if you click this link here, then it goes right to the documentation center, which allows you to visit our online solutions desk, which is our knowledge base, to get quick start videos, configuration guides, how to use the configurator, how to use the scanner and the workspace, or even how to subscribe or unsubscribe from any of our things, or if you have to change credit cards and so forth. It's all right there for you. And if you ever need any help from us, then a support ticket is always just one click away. Just click on the support ticket. A new ticket will be developed, and we promise we'll get back to you within 24 hours, either with a solution or someone will call you to make sure that you get all of your questions answered to your satisfaction. That's all the part of the support that any good scanner should be providing for you. Are there any questions, or are there any specific scan setups that you might be interested in and I could show you that we can do for you? I'll be glad to set that up if time constraints allow that to. And if not, and while you're thinking about that, let me go ahead and go back to my presentation, and let me make you a very good offer. Oh, it looks like I got it out of my presentation, so let me go back into that. Sorry about that. So let me make you that special offer. So for a limited time, all of the things that we've talked about before: full featured MT4, MT5, exclusive Skype community access with all of the users, unlimited storage of your configurations, emails, push notifications, and 100 SMS notifications every single month that are included, in addition to all 14 of our pre-configured presets. Now, these are all the strategies and all the settings that have already been configured for you, ready to go. All these things are valued at this price. Of course, you're not going to pay that for it at all. We've set up a $194 per month setting for that. But of course, since you're part of today's webinar and the settings, we've knocked that down another 50%, $97 per month, and a 14-day free trial. That means that 14 days, you can give it a kick. You can try either the full featured MT4 or MT5 system for 14 full days, 2 full weeks, to see if it works for you, if you can get your configuration set up and going on it. All of it can start right away. So by clicking the link, mt4professional.com/trial, let me copy that for you and then paste it in here. There you go. If you click on that, it'll take you to the page to get access to our trial and to this link. Now, you can use this for 14 full days. If you cancel the very first day, you still get access to the full 14-day trial. but you lose the discount if you do that. So if you wait till the end and don't cancel it, then after 14 days, then you'll be automatically charged $97 per month. Now, this isn't a one-time charge or just for 1 month and then it goes back up to this price. It is a locked in discount where you keep the 50% discount for the life of the subscription. So your discount does not go away until you cancel. So there's the access to that. If you do have any question, then here is our contact link. So support@mt4professional.com. Put that for you here. That is our email support. It also will create a ticket for you and will guarantee access and reply to you within 24 hours to make sure that we answer all of your questions. For any question or comment that you might have for us or our staff, our dedicated and knowledgeable staff will always be there ready for your information and to reply to you. So let me go back to this and pull my platform back up again. And right there, see, notice when I resized it that these windows all automatically resize and I don't have to worry about it, even if the windows are different sizes. You just don't get that feature in regular MT4. So I think that's just so nice. One-click integration, the ability to share with other members in the traders network, the cloud backup and storage, mobile access and integration, one-click. It's just it's really nice, nice system, and I highly recommend it. So do you have a question or comment that you have for me today? I'll be glad to show you. Not most of the information I shared on this was for Forex, and this is a scanner made specifically for MT4 and MT5. Most of the traders on those are Forex traders, but as you can see, there are a lot of other traders out there that use something other than Forex. So you can see that I do have a bunch of other systems set up where you can use CFDs, you can use stocks or futures instruments based upon your own particular strategy. So our system does not limit you in any way of that capability. Okay. So no questions so far. We've got an audience of people who fully understand everything. So that's great. You guys are awesome. Well, David, I think that ends it for me then. If there aren't other specific questions, I've shown the capabilities of the system and I've given the ability to start our trial. So I could end early then if there's someone else ready to go. Otherwise, I can stay here for more questions if you'd like. Or even one question would be